everyone, this is Bridget with the City of Urbana. Today we're out at Frasca International, right to the north of town. A lot of you probably don't even realize it's out here, but we're here today with Peggy Prichard. And Peggy, what do you do here at Frasca?
I'm the marketing manager here at Frasca. I've been here 28 years.
So are you, I hear it's like a family thing.
It is a family thing.
Yeah?
Funny you should ask. So my father started the company 60 years ago. My father's Rudy Frasca.
60 years.
Yeah, 60 years. And there were 8 of us, and most of us are working here now.
That's great. And what do you do?
I'm the marketing manager.
Oh, great, great, yeah.
So anything advertising, promotions, website, trade shows, all that
Okay,
stuff.
so like, how did your dad get into this?
Oh gosh, well Dad, when he was about 14, he kind of fell in love with airplanes, and he likes to tell the story that he took his brother's model airplane and he threw it and he broke it, and then he said, okay, I'm going to learn to fly. So he learned to fly when he was about 14. He lied about his age and he got his pilot's license.
That's awesome.
Yeah, up in Chicago. And then he wasn't quite old enough for World War II, but he taught pilots that were transitioning from World War II to the Korean War. So he was a flight instructor. And he taught on link trainers, which was a different brand of flight simulators. And after he did that, he came down to the University of Illinois on the GI Bill, went to business school.
Was he in the Navy or?
Navy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was at Glenview Naval.
Awesome.
Yeah, so you know, he and my mom got married. They came down to Champaign, and he said, I'm going to start my company here. I'm going to have 12 kids. So he stopped at 8 kids. That was kind of the joke, you know.
Well, they had you guys, and they said, we've
That's
reached
enough,
perfection.
Right? So then he decided to build his own flight simulator, and he did that in his garage, basically. And then,
doesn't that just blow your mind? You hear about all these great companies, and they started in a garage. Well, here's another one.
He was a true entrepreneur, my dad.
That is really great.
He always said he had moxie, because even though there were a lot of obstacles in starting your own business and then raising this giant family, and he just kept going, and he'd go out and sell the simulators all over the world.
So he was his own marketing guy too.
He was. He did it all.
That's great. So you guys are all coming up in this. I mean, was it just like one day you decided to step through the doors, or you were always kind of ensconced in the business?
So, you know, he kind of had that attitude like, you know, the farmer used to have a bunch of kids and have them work for you. I don't know. So my brothers all, more of my brothers, he taught us all to fly if we wanted to, and I also learned to fly, but my brothers really took it. Yeah, I learned to fly. My brothers were really into flying, and a lot of them, one of them flew for an airline for a while, one was an aerobatic pilot, so they're all pretty accomplished pilots, and my younger sister learned to fly. So
that's cool.
In addition to coming to the airport and flying, he would have us work at the factory, which was on Neal and Green when we were growing up.
Right.
And we would do things like, you know, clean the toilets and whatever he wanted to do.
You learned the business from
literally
the ground up.
Yeah.
That's great.
And then most of us, I went to college and stayed away for several years, and then I came back in 1990, but my brothers had been here working kind of all along. Some of them went to college and were on the flying team at SIU. Cool. My brother John was in engineering school here at U of I. So
when I hear he's the president of the company now?
Yes, he is.
All right. Well, I guess we're going to talk to him next. So we'll reconvene and talk to John.
Great.
We're at Frasca International, and here we have John Frasca, the president of Frasca International. John, how did you start out with the company? Did you just go to college, came back in, hey John, I'm president. So, or what's been your course here?
It was a little more difficult than that, or a little longer than that. You know, Dad and Mom gave us a lot of opportunities, and I say us, there's 8 of us kids growing up. And they gave us the opportunity. Dad was into aviation, so we would go to the airport. The joke was Mom would say, take the kids to the airport, get them out of here. So that's where we spent a lot of weekends were spent at the airport, or at what we called the business, which was the factory, the simulator company that Dad founded. And you know, we'd spend a lot of evenings there, weekends there, after schools there. Dad put us to work, kind of think of it as interning. We were work in the machine shop, we might work in the electronics wiring shop. You know, just got exposed to all different kinds of technology of the day, and I'm talking about back in the, you know, 70s is when we were doing this. And I just took an interest in engineering. I really liked the technology.
So you've always kind of been interested in this?
I think I used to take things apart and put them back together on most of the
That's a
time.
good sign that you're an engineer.
And when I was at Edison Junior High School in Champaign, we were only a couple blocks away from the factory. So
Right.
after school, if
Yeah,
I
it was
weren't-
at Neal and Green then, right?
Right.
Right.
And if I wasn't, going out for football or something, I just loved work so much that I would go
Right.
there and build a simulator or work in the machine shop or different things. And over the years, my responsibility just changed from building things. All of us started sweeping the floors and emptying garbage cans, and then, started building things, working in the machine shop, and then just kept growing in responsibilities. After high school and junior high doing this, I went to the University of Illinois in electrical engineering. I spent a couple of semesters doing that and decided I was already doing electrical engineering work.
Oh,
at
that's
work.
amazing.
So I just sort of,
So you were like listening to your professors going, excuse me, it's actually this way?
I don't think I was that way, but what I did is I really learned a lot at the University of Illinois. I learned how to learn, and I learned, things, some
absolutely.
base things in math and physics and that sort of stuff. But I also like to build things. So, we had some big programs going. One was with the Spanish Air Force, and at that time it was a big program, so I just kind of didn't start the next semester and worked on the project and went and
That's
installed
amazing.
it in Spain, and then another project came along, and that one, and just one led to another. So I never really got back to finishing school.
You know what, though? Talk about using what you're learning in school as a practical application outside of school. You had the best lab there is,
It's fun because
Yeah.
you would just get a chance to work on real world things. And so the engineering related to business, which related to, just the real work, working with customers, and, all of that came together, going to trade shows and demonstrating equipment. So I've really had a chance to just see how everything comes together.
So were you considered an engineer for the company at that point?
I think there was a stage when, I was an engineer, and then I was a stage where I was a project manager,
Right.
and then just started leading operations and so on. I like to tell the story though. One day, this is, when Dad decided in his own mind it was time to do something else. So we're having a company party outside, and he gets the microphone and says, "I'd like everyone's attention." He says, "John's now president."
Did you have any idea?
I was the one in the family that was taking the most interest in the business, so I knew at some point, I always felt like I would. But the way he announced it, we didn't.
You're just like there with your sandwich. Oh, okay. That's great. That's great. But that shows how comfortable you guys are with your employees. And we were walking around the company here, and it's just an amazing place for employees. You got this great break room and meeting areas, and it's very nice. So you can tell you care a lot about your staff. Well, tell me about some of the great things you guys are working on right now. Like before we were filming, I named off all these simulators they worked on and are working on for this year, and it's like a whole paragraph. It's unbelievable.
We're all over the place. We bring a lot of people to this community. I was just in Indonesia working on a program, and working on selling it. When we sell it, those guys will come here multiple times to inspect their simulator. We've had groups this year from Germany and China and just all over the world, projects.
So how long do you think it's going to take to reach your 3,000 mark?
We do probably 50 simulators a year.
Oh my
so,
gosh.
yeah,
We'll be out here soon talking about that. That'll be wonderful.
it's another big event for us, yeah.
Well, we've enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank
I've
you
enjoyed
so
it.
much.